Punters seen them well at Geelong today, and hopefully that can continue in the final two races on the program. The best backed runner in the next race is our firming favourite Regal Zeus, chasing a second career victory and has been popular on race day. $2.45 late in betting, was as much as $2.90 when the market reopened following scratchings. I'm a Superstar, $5.50 into 5 has met with race day support. Connecticut's gone the other way, $4.40 out to $6. Similar story with Shillelagh's, $6 out to $7, and a little bit of late money there for number 6 in Sacred Kenchi, who's been $21 into 18. But Regal Zeus, the best backed. I'm a Superstar, the second best backed. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website.
This mounting yard is brought to you by 30 Days, 30 Deals at Macca's.
0 to 64 handicap, 1,440 metres ahead of them. Race 7, the second last from Geelong. Amaniki saved for another day. So, Warren, we start our mounting yard coverage with 2 in Waitapu. Tom Stockdale comes out for the one ride today. He's first up at the 1,400, but 3 jump outs under the belt.
He's had a placing from 4 first up runs, so he generally improves with a run or two. Flashy looker he is as he wakes his way into the mounting yard. He's jumped out okay, as you referenced, more than one jump out leading into this, kicking off the campaign at what you would suggest is a suitable trip.
We'll skip ahead to the 8 in Regal Zeus, who is our favourite from the John McArdle stable. Third run back, was beaten by Grey Northern last time.
Bob of the head effectively on that occasion and was second up, coming from a run behind Jewel Bay, which is a decent form reference at Cranbourne. First up, hitting this race third up, ran about this distance range, looks suitable. Dan Stackhouse has certainly filled a role with the McArdle stable with a decent strike rate when they combine. He looks hard to beat here, and he's drawn to have some options, perhaps find the right part of the track late.
Shah Lily and Liam Reardon were a winning combination first up at this track. That was over the 1,300 metres, so they rise slightly second up from a spell.
Upgrades during the course of the day, perhaps not necessarily in her favour, but she was a winner on good ground here at Geelong last start. That was an easier contest, but she'd been consistent right throughout her career. She got that win last start, so there's no reason to think she won't run her usual honest race again. Just think there's a bit more depth to this race.
Spaniki's back for another preparation for the Neil Dyer team. Tom Preble takes the 3 kilo claim.
Generally takes at least a run or two to build into a preparation. 5 first up runs, only 1 placing there. Looks to have jumped out fairly to get back to the races. Once again, kicking off at a suitable trip, probably wasting runs at shorter distances than this.
Panniers are gelding by Tavistock, who broke the maiden at 1,700 metres last preparation. The camp were keen to step him out after that.
Almost cut and paste the comments, although Panniers a lot more lightly raced than Svanica. But first up, not necessarily Panniers' lot in life, relatively early in his career, having had 8 runs going into this race. He's jumped out well enough to go back to the races, and he's kicking off the campaign at what you would think is a suitable trip to build fitness and step up in distance.
I'm a Superstar looks a key player in this event for the Corstons stable, has been right there on their heels, seemingly getting beaten just about the same margin each run back this preparation. Bo Mertens jumps aboard this time around. Things didn't quite go right last time.
That's a nice way of putting it. Just had no luck at all, did he? And maybe need a little bit of luck from a near inside draw here, starting from the absolute inside draw after scratchings. No luck at all last start. Case of what might have been on that occasion. Was a $26 chance, but I think would have been fighting out the finish with clear galloping room in the home straight.
Mostrava's been tested at a longer distance this afternoon for the wild stable, Geordie Childs.
She's shaping as if it'll suit her, I think. I like the way she built momentum down the outside behind a smart sprinting mare in Grassmere Jewel over 1,100 metres last start. It's quite a quantum rise in trip, but we've seen Simon Wild do that on numerous occasions. Skip what would perhaps be the traditional go up 100, 200 metres with horses and do it with success. Mostrava gives to me the indication the rise in distance will suit.
Couple of horses we missed on the run through, Warren, so let's go back to the 3 in Connecticut first up from a spell.
His horse has only had 2 preparations and he's been placed first up, so he's kicking off this campaign with some good jump outs under the belt. His first up stats don't read as he's a winner, but he's only had the 2 first up attempts and he has been placed. He's jumped out nicely. He's kicked off at a suitable trip here. I'd expect him not to be part of the speed, but to be working home strongly late.
Love the way Steve Richards' debutant went went a little bit earlier today. He also brings Sacred Kenshi to the races first up.
Over 2,400 metres late last preparation. I think he's jumped out okay. Another one whose first up stats don't read that well. The recent jump out was encouraging for a horse to kick off at what appears to be the right type of distance range and build up to longer races in the not too distant future.
So there's a look at the runners for race number 7. Warren, are you siding with this well-supported favourite here?
I am. I'm siding with Adamo also, who's having a Regal day in the callers box. He got Regal Vow home. He's trying to get Regal Zeus home here. And I think he's the most likely winner. I'm a superstar, I think, case of what might have been last start. Legitimate danger. I think Mostrava's one that can run well with the rise in distance. Connecticut first up in the mix for me. 8, 14, 15 and 3.
And the favourite continues to firm here, Regal Zeus, all the way down to $2.30. Got as short as $2.15 at one stage and was a $2.90 chance when the betting reopened on race day. I'm a superstar of $5.50 second leg. Connecticut's been rock solid late at $6 after drifting throughout the course of the day. We are starting to see some support at that quote, and there's been specking for the other runners in the field, but primarily it's Regal Zeus the best backed. I'm a superstar, the second best backed. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website.
John McArdle with Regal Zeus here, who is an acceptor for the Sandown Guineas on Saturday. John, assuming that he's not going to run here and back up, how serious consideration did you give to running on Saturday, or is backing up from today still an option?
No, backing up's definitely not an option. We didn't scratch him just in case something went awry here, and we could still go there. Gave it serious consideration. Probably if we had drawn a little bit lower, we might have had a go, but just going to the mile the first time from a sticky gate at Caulfield, we had a sticky gate here, and then when this started to fall away, we decided that we'd come here and give him another one at 1,400 and then step to the mile from there.
What have you made of the 2 build-up runs this preparation?
Yeah, look, first up, just no tempo in the race, and we did try to ride him with a bit of cover. Hindsight, we probably should have just rode the race and not the preparation. So thought he ran all right to hold on and run fourth in a slow run race. He still made ground after getting in a bit of trouble. And second up, after 5 weeks between runs, I thought he was very good. That tough uphill run at Pakenham, he toughed it out really well and just got caught by a horse that Simon Zara thought was in really good form. So, yeah, look, I think he's done nothing wrong. He's still a little bit new and still does a few things wrong, so hopefully he can get in the right spot for Daniel today, but he's a nice horse in the future.
What is the plan with yourself and Stacky? You referenced at first up you might have wanted to get some cover. How would you like today to pan out?
Ideally, we'd sort of be sitting fourth, third, fourth, fifth, sort of one out, one back would be ideal, and just let him get some cover and let him relax for the first part of the race, and then sort of hopefully get to the middle of the track where it looks as though they're coming and sort of have one last crack at them. So, he's done most things right in his career so far. Like he fell over coming out of the gates at Sale one day, and that got him beat, and he had no luck at Caulfield one day. But look, he's a nice horse going forward, and hopefully he can get the job done here and head forward from there.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Good to get the insight there from John McArdle. Regal Zeus looks well placed here this afternoon, and the punters are certainly in agreement. He's been the one that they've come for as short as now $2.25, with the VOP having touched $2.40. So they're happy to be siding with the way of Regal Zeus as these runners arrive at the start for race number 7. We saw the weather radar graphic there earlier. The rain hasn't quite hit here at Geelong at the moment, Warren, but I think the Gippsland region are the ones that are sort of right in the thick of it, and we'll probably await to hear. I think Terrelgan was already put up a heavy track for their Cup Day on Sunday. So, if they get part of this deluge today, that meeting could be in, some sort of trouble or maybe a transfer on the cards.
You're going to make a call as a transfer for that meeting. I believe it would be made tomorrow, but a heavy 10 was the last track rating I had for Terrelgan, and if they're getting more rain during the course of today, then that would place that meeting in jeopardy. You would think if a call has to be made, you don't want to go into a meeting knowing that there's a cloud over the track and then get some way into the meeting and find that they can't continue. So there's a warning there for Terrell, and I'm sure Matty Walsh and the team at Racing Victoria would be exploring options for that meeting, and there's a good chance your car will get a bit of a wash on the way home if the rain arrives on this side of town.
As we're going through the Macca's drive-through, this is the second last we should have mentioned as well for the Macca's run, but racing at Mornington and the Valley tomorrow night, both of those tracks currently rated a soft 5, and hopefully they can escape this rain band which is coming through from the Gippsland region.
It doesn't seem to be a lot on this side of town and around city. Forecast, the last forecast I checked with the Bureau of Meteorology for the next day or two, there does seem to be more rain as you get further east in towards Gippsland.
So, well, speaking of the Gippsland region, let's go to a man who knows it all too well, and Adam O for his call, race 7.
And Ben, thank you. Yes, it's strange, the weather. It's very patchy all over Gippsland. Some areas are absolutely getting hammered and some are missing it. But yeah, lucky we're not racing at Bairnsdale at the moment. They've copped 100 mil over the last couple of days. You've mentioned Traralgon, so there's obviously a little bit of a question mark on Sunday, and we'll find out more tomorrow what the plan of attack is there. I think there's a few options they're considering. Wollemine's another Gippsland meeting, or Bass Coast to be technical, but they've so far missed the brunt of the wet weather, but there looks like there's still a fair bit to come, so we'll see what happens over the next few days. These runners moving in. Yarra Valley, it's a big meeting for them on Saturday. They wouldn't want much rain up that way. Of course, Mornington tomorrow. So they're coming in well. Moving in for the Bet365 0 to 64. Of course, Sunday's a big day in the west for the Jericho at Warrnambool. Track that, as we know, can handle a lot of rain. Still amazed they got through that Wednesday meeting this year over the carnival with the rain they had on Tuesday night. So about to step up Panier. Lights blinking on the stalls. The Bet365 0 to 64 over 1440 metres. Ready to go. All in. Shillelagh Restless, last start winner, has returned well. A few of them going off. Starter hasn't budged though. And we just wait for the dispatch. Attendants climbed in. Mostrava might be the issue here, and I understand that they're going to back it out and vet it. This will be confirmation. Hayley, thank you. So $10 chance Mostrava being vetted, and rider jumps out, Jordan Childs, and now they just have to get the horse out. So Mostrava, barrier 5. That's before scratchings. So there it is. Mostrava being looked at by the vet, as mentioned, 11 into $10. The Extravagant Bear trotted around behind the stalls, ran on well last time, got close to winning at Swan Hill 2 starts back. So Geordie heading back to the horse and being legged up, so that's a positive sign for Mostrava, being past fit to run, and will take its spot in this field. The others have been standing well in blustery conditions. Mostrava goes in, the starter won't dilly-dally now. Keen to send them on their journey. Signal, and they're away. Regal Zeus was first out from out wide and surveying the others and looking to edge across, but there's Shillelagh, Mostrava and Waitapu are booting up on it. So 4 off the fence for the moment for Regal Zeus, but a long run down the back straight and might be able to come across a bit more as they proceed. Running in 5th is Faniki, and then I'm a Superstar, Connecticut, Sacred Kenshi, and Pania is back last. But Shillelagh takes up the running, heading towards the top corner from Waitapu on the fence, and Regal Zeus will sit set 3 off the running rail. A length away then Mostrava easing out that battle, but a bit of Keen in the middle of a line of 3 with Svaniki out deep, and I'm a Superstar the fence, Sacred Kenchi, and then comes Connecticut and Pania back last. They crawl down the back straight and they head down the side where they begin to quicken. Shillelagh looking for back-to-back wins, 1 length on Regal Zeus in second, Svaniki, Waitapu the running rail, Mostrava 5th in between, then comes I'm a Superstar held up back on the fence, Sacred Kenchi, Connecticut back towards the end and Pania back last. So it is Shillelagh away from the running rail, entering the straight from Regal Zeus is ambling after it. Waitapu the inside, then Svaniki, Mostrava, I'm a Superstar, Connecticut, Sacred Kenchi and Pania down the outside, par the track, 250 out. Regal Zeus found the front from Shillelagh, Connecticut's making a bid, Pania's late on the scene, Regal Zeus in the middle, from Pania out wide, Regal Zeus drifting in, just won it. Regal Zeus got there by a half head on Pania and Connecticut, then followed by Svaniki. Next I'm a Superstar, Sacred Kenchi, and then Waitapu, Shillelagh and Mostrava. Got a bit lost and probably wasn't doing itself any favours late, wandering inwards, but has got in by about a neck. Regal Zeus beating Pania, who's come from near last with a strong run down the outside. Connecticut burst through, and Svaniki at $71 has been beaten no more than 3/4 in 4th. So a busy finish, but a popular result nonetheless. Regal Zeus first, $2.30 it ended up. Daniel Stackhouse got the horse flying out of the gates after that long delay, and he was very patient working across. He didn't bustle the horse early. There was probably the opportunity for him to give the horse a dig in the ribs and try and work across to the inside section, but perhaps knowing that it's not really the place to be when you come into the straight, he was quite happy to sit where he did. Took the lead early in the home running, but he had a battle on his hands with horses shooting up along the fence and coming at him late. But numbers through 8, 13, 3 and 12. Interims 8, 13, 3 and 12. Short neck, short head and 127.95. So Regal Zeus, who of course was in the acceptances for the Sandown Guineas on Saturday, but John McArdle opting to get the win here this afternoon and has pulled the right rein, no doubt. Let's hear from John Trackside.
Yeah, most certainly. Good to get the win and pull the right rein for the weekend, but we're just talking off air here. Maybe didn't quite go to script as you'd hope.
Oh, no, look, I mean, the idea was definitely not to sit outside the leader, but I did say to Daniel, if you're going to land there and he's going to be over racing, you're going to have to cop your lumps. And we do know that when he gets in front, he wanders around and he loses concentration, which he did again today. His ability got him there. Look, he's still, he's not the finished product. He still does a lot wrong, as you've seen in the straight. Didn't concentrate a lot, but, you know, hopefully out to a mile next start and, you know, get a race where he can get to sit on them and, yeah, hopefully he can continue with it. But good to get here and get the job done.
So to the eye of the punter, it might have looked like Stacky was riding confidently and, you know, thinking he had a lap full of horse, but it was more that he knew that if he got in front, he can stargaze a little.
100%. He was riding confidently. He knew he had the horse there. He just, yeah, when he gets in front, he does wander around and stargaze. So, look, he probably wants a set of blinkers, but he's not the finished product yet. They'll come in time and... No, I think he's a nice horse going forward.
He's a Zeus star. That's 7 starts now for 2 victories and a couple of placings amongst there as well. He's a horse, as you say, the talent's there. You've probably seen it at home.
It certainly, and probably the day at Sale where he fell over coming out of the gates and spotted him, the second last horse 5 lengths and got within a couple of lengths of him, sort of suggested to us that he does have the ability. But, you know, we did consider a Group 2 for him on the weekend, but... he's still learning. When he gets there, I'm sure he'll make a nice horse as a later 3-year-old.
The raw talent's there. John, well done.
Thank you.
There we go. John McArdle pulls the right rein. Regal Zeus comes here to Geelong and gets the job done. So too does Daniel Stackhouse. Interesting to hear about the horse's quirks and the like. Maybe a blinker horse in time, but at the moment he's learning his craft. And well done to the Regal Bloodstock team. And he's a son of Zeus Star who's got his fair share of talent. He was narrowly knocked off behind Grey Northam at Pakenham last start, but he wasn't going to get beaten today, and his class shines through, and the favourite punters see it well too. They were happy to be with him. Stacky comes on over, and talking to John, he sounds like a horse who's got a trick or two up his sleeve.
Yeah, he does. You know, we sort of want a bit bit of tempo on the race, and there wasn't much there, and we ended up outside the leader. But he travelled beautiful, got himself a nice rhythm. Just tried to cuddle him as long as I could, and when he got to the front, he had a good look around and waited for the other horses. But to a credit, when they got to him again, he actually found again too. So he hit the line well.
I suppose it's good to have that insight if you know that the horse is going to stargaze and get a little bit lost. That's probably why you were hanging on to him for as long as you could.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if I let him go, he might have been a bit worse. But he got the job done, and he might be able to step up. He just needs a bit more tempo so he can just chase something down.
Do you often find with horses like that, it's just, getting the confidence? Hopefully today helps him, putting the nose in front, and John suggesting maybe a blinker horse in time?
Yeah, he's definitely probably a blinker horse in time. He just needs to learn to settle a bit more, and probably the wind doesn't really help being hit on too. It sort of blows you around as well. So, but he's a winner today, so he's going to the grades nicely.
Well handled, Stacky.
Thank you.
About a second inside standard time for Regal Zeus for this class over this trip on a soft rated track. That's been about the norm for today, so maybe it's on the slightly better side of that soft rating, but we've had horses rolling along and setting reasonable tempos, and no doubt that contributes to the overall time. Also, Shillelagh setting the tempo here, and Dan Stackhouse, Ben, just forced to cop his medicine. He began so well, you couldn't drag him back through the field, and then I think he was trying to reverse park for a while there, but there just wasn't a spot for him, and this is the point in the race where he's just keeping Regal Zeus held together as long as possible. He was probably the last rider to fully commit and get off the bridle, and then when he did, Regal Zeus quicker nicely. Good return from Pannier, good return ditto from Connecticut back to the inside, but the horse probably with the most upside, still a bit to learn in this distance range, but getting a good education from John McArdle just proved that little bit too good, winning by a short neck. Well done to Adam Olszanski. He highlighted two horses at the start of the day. They've both been able to win races 6 and 7.
Absolutely flew the lids and was in front when it counted. Regal Zeus gets the job done, race 7, the second last from Geelong.